Monaco is the jewel in Formula One's crown. It is the race that every driver wants to win at least once in their lifetime. And for a racing driver actually from here, it is the ultimate dream. For the last few years, Charles Leclerc had been the hero of the nation, flying the flag high for Monaco and for Ferrari wherever he went. He had always been lightning quick around here, but every year that he'd race here, even in the lower categories of racing, everything went wrong. 2017, Leclerc took pole position for the Formula 2 race in a ragged but fast lap that would have made even Gilles Villeneuve lose control of his Spectre, but a loose wheel in the first race ultimately broke his suspension, thus forced him to start down the order for the second one, leaving him with no points that weekend. 2018, fresh-faced in Formula 1 and doing bits in a Sauber that couldn't find speed if you parked it outside Trevor Phillips' kitchen, but with 6 laps to go, his brakes noped out of existence, slamming into the back of Brendan Hartley and gave him an unhelpful retirement. 2019, promoted to Ferrari when it was still run by Italians. His qualifying was ruined by rancid strategy, which forced him to charge through the pack on race day. And ultimately, he attacked with a little bit too much vigor and was forced to retire once again. 2020, we didn't have a race then. Not sure exactly why, but then in 2021, we would return to the Principality and Leclerc would put his Ferrari on pole position, primarily because of a stonking lap, and partially due to some destructive acrobatics that red flagged the session and assured him of said pole position, and this would have put him in good stead for the race had the Ferrari mechanics bothered to check the driveshaft after that crash. But they didn't, and as you may have guessed, he wouldn't even be able to start the race. 2022, he's on pole position again. Now in a Ferrari which was lightning fast and with new regulations that made the cars wider than most Roy Hattersley's. The only thing that could have curtailed him would have been something like poor strategy. And do remember who he was driving for. Peak Ferrari strategy threw Leclerc behind his teammate and the Red Bulls and was left to settle for 4th place. But hey, at least he got it to the finish this time, right? 2023, Leclerc qualifies in 3rd place. So as long as he gets a good start and the right strategy and yeah, you know that none of this happened, eh? Instead, he got a 3-place penalty for impeding a Commonwealth driver, and to be honest, the prancing horses just didn't look that fast that weekend either, and they were also dogged down with tyre degradation. So ever since Leclerc has had a shot at being the first born and bred Monegasque to win his home Grand Prix since Louis Chiron in 1930-1, it's just been pain after pain after pain. So he was cursed, we all reasoned. Just like the Hulkenberg podium curse, only a little more potent. He had shown speed every single year that he'd come home to race in his backyard, but with all the years of torment and how exactly those things happened, the writing was kind of on the wall. Charles Leclerc was never going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Another year, another beautiful landscape, and yet another Grand Prix in which everyone was resigned to the notion that Red Bull would walk over the pack. Well, not quite, with the resurgence of McLaren, as well as promise from Ferrari, and the rumors that Red Bull may not be so strong around here. There was hope that maybe we could get a different winner around here, or at least a little bit of a fight. How we got to the stage doesn't matter. What mattered was that no one really knew who could win around here. Hell, the Mercedes looked quick initially, but what mattered was what happened in qualifying. In the past, Leclerc had taken pole position here twice. He does know how to go fast here, but out of those 2 pole positions, in one of them, he didn't even start the race. At this stage, any little thing could throw the weekend into jeopardy. Despite his experience and speed around the circuit, every Ferrari and Charles fan were biting their nails, lest their mercurial hero attempt to tango with a piece of Armco barrier. But while it wasn't the prettiest lap that Monaco had ever seen, it was enough to take pole position by over a 10th from Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. And given Leclerc's proven excellence in racecraft so far this year, and Ferrari now under the control of the French and thus less chaotic, this is as good a chance as any to make something happen. And it would be fitting, because it was 10 years to the day when his godfather Jules Bianchi managed to wrangle points out of a Marussia on these streets, one of the most memorable drives in Monaco Grand Prix history. It was Jules, in fact, who ultimately helped keep Charles' own career going, telling Ferrari that he was a talent for the future. When he departed this world, Charles made it his goal to complete Jules' mission, to become a Ferrari driver, to win the World Championship, and to win on the streets of Monaco. Streets that he grew up on, watching the race year by year with his father, who had also passed away as he was in the middle of his legendary Formula 2 bout and just before his Formula 1 debut. For Charles personally, a hometown win would mean more for him than perhaps any other driver, but still, there was that damn curse. I mean, he never actually believed in such a thing, but despite the speed shown leading up to this moment, something was surely bound to go wrong, as it had done all the time before. The lights go out, and Charles is immediately up to the task, navigating Sainte-Devote in the lead and withholding any urge to dismember his front wing. But where he failed in that regard, the other Ferrari picked up the pieces. Carlos Sainz got a little bit too comfortable around his pastries. It ronnied up his front wing, and at Casino Square, pulled over to try his luck at the Hotel de Paris. Up ahead, Piastri was hounding Charles. Oh crap. Here we go again. So apparently the McLaren is faster than the Ferraris anyway. And that's not to even factor in the strategies here, like listening for rattles in an old Fiat. Anything that looked like a threat was a threat to Charles' race. But by the time they got out of Portier, everything stopped. On the run-up Beau Rivage, Kevin Magnussen attempted to aim for a gap that was about 2 to 3 inches shorter than the width of a Formula 1 car. This threw the Red Bull of Sergio Perez across the racetrack, injured a photographer, and once the dust settled, we were left with 2 stranded task cars and a Red Bull that looked like it had been attacked by a bear. The red flag was thrown, the race was stopped, and everyone was left twiddling their thumbs, while millions of dollars of carbon fiber were whisked over billions of dollars of real estate. Money may not be in short supply here, but K-Mag's temptation to ram people off the road was starting to wear the patience of pretty much everyone else. It was a bad accident, he was in a bad run of form, and clearly this was affecting him somewhat. He hopped in his boat in the harbour and went off to cool his head. Eventually, once everything was cleared up and Sainz was given his get-out-of-jail-free card, the grid would line up for a second attempt at the start, minus the 2 Haas's, the 1 Red Bull, and 1 Esteban Ocon, who launched himself into low Earth orbit, coming out of Portier. Okay, so that curse thing, it's gonna kick in now, right? He's gonna muck up the start, fall in behind Piastri, and we're all gonna watch as the hopes and dreams of the born-again Gilles Villeneuve fade away while he watches helpless, right? Second time round, Charles nails the start again. Up Beau Rivage once again as the race leader. But there was a caveat now to proceedings. Thanks to K-Mag's Lap 1 gymnastics bringing out the red flag, every driver in the field would change tyres while the race was stopped. And because the rules say that this does count as a mandatory pit stop for some reason, everyone who opted for the hard tyre would technically be able to make it to the end without having to pit again, so long as they nurse their tyres accordingly. Both Ferraris and both McLarens were all on the hard compound tyre. So what this meant was that from the moment they went up Sainte-Devote without any more acts of Magnussisms, the race got really boring. Everyone was in a phase of conservativeness, going 10 seconds a lap slower than qualifying pace. They were down to the times of the boats that they call Formula 2 cars for crying out loud. Whether you watched it at 3 AM or 3 PM, this race was putting everyone to sleep. The only thing really keeping us vested was the number 16 Ferrari, still in the lead, still in with a chance of victory. And for a little bit of intrigue, there was still an element of jeopardy here. The running order was Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, and Norris. Behind them was a fairly sizable gap to George Russell. If that grew big enough to the point where a pit stop could be made without losing spots, the McLarens could launch a late race charge against the Ferraris with a fresh batch of medium tyres. So backing that leading pack up to prevent such a gap from opening up, whilst also keeping ahead and not allowing Piastri past, was the aim of the game for Leclerc here. And he did do that in the slowest, most gruesomely boring race that you'd ever see. Leclerc did everything that he needed to do. Down the pack, pit stops were being made by other drivers, only to find that despite being 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster and on fresher tyres, don't mean diddly when passing here is nigh on impossible. I mean, just see Senna Mansell 92 for a very evident example of that. The window of opportunity for McLaren was effectively gone with 10 laps to go. And then Leclerc gunned it, left Piastri and Sainz to fend for themselves. The gap kept on growing bit by bit, and now surely the race was beyond doubt. There really wasn't too much more to this race. It just wasn't that eventful. But it's been like this before in Monaco. Just because you're leading into the last lap here doesn't mean that you are assured of victory. You still had to get it to the line, and with a few laps to go, Charles was beginning to struggle to keep his emotions totally under control. He had done his job almost to perfection. All that was needed to do was to rein it in and just bring it home. Both he and Ferrari agreed that was the best option. Ever since losing his father, it had been his dream to win here on the streets of Monaco, a place he called home. Today's result was all him. This is why Charles Leclerc is regarded as the golden boy of the Scuderia, but it also seemed as if Charles was finishing the story here, the one started by Jules, one he wanted to finish, to dedicate to his father, who he watched this race with year after year, the race that made him want to become a Formula One driver. As Alex Jakes, as ever, so eloquently put it, the grandstands he saw built as a kid growing up now rise for him, and for the first time in 93 years, this fabled race is won by one of their own. Well done, Charles Leclerc. It's mission accomplished.
Yeah!